Hi guys, this is Tobias Hobie, and today, you don't even know how many times I've watched that opening intro. Anyway, the end is just the beginning in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, thanks to one new feature, the Guiding Lands. Following complaints about the lack of true endgame content in Monster Hunter World, the Monster Hunter team has decided to up the ante by providing a new special island that has endgame written all over it. The Guiding Lands is sure to be a frequent stop for folks who want to get more out of Iceborne, not just because of its list of unlockable monsters, but the availability of special items and monster drops that can be acquired in the island. So here's a Guiding Lands guide that explains what's so special about this new area and why it's worth your while to spend time in it. So, first question, what exactly is the Guiding Lands? The Guiding Lands is a special island for expeditions that you can gain access to after beating the last boss of Iceborne's campaign. It's one landmass that's comprised of 4 regions, each representing a previous area and world. You have the Forest region, a lush green area reminiscent of the ancient forest. The Wildspire region, meanwhile, is a dry, hot desert similar to the Wildspire Waste. Coral region is a colorful ecosystem based on the Coral Highlands. Then you've got the Rotted region, a toxic, miasma-filled underground location reminiscent of the Rotten Vale. Anyway, each region has an individual level, which can be raised by tracking footprints and hunting monsters. Hunting monsters that are native to a specific region is typically the fastest way to raise a region's level. Oftentimes, you will know that by bringing up your map and then looking at the icon next to the monster. It should have an icon representing the region that it's from. Anyway, each region can be leveled up as high as level 7. Your region's levels are gated by your master rank, so you will want to increase your MR in order to increase your Guiding Lands region levels as well. You can raise each region's levels up to the existing cap by, like I said, collecting footprints and hunting monsters. Note that raising one region's level can cause the level of the other regions to drop, so it's pretty much impossible to have all of them maxed out at the same time. At least we haven't figured out a way to do that. Some monsters, by the way, such as Bambros, are actually native to all the different regions, and so when you hunt such a monster, usually you don't see a huge drop in level for the other areas. Sometimes it might even cause it to go up a little bit. Players can also invite others to their Guiding Lands or visit the Guiding Lands of others. The level of the island will reflect the progress of the current host. So the next question is, how do I get to the Guiding Lands? Your first visit to the Guiding Lands occurs as part of an event after you finish the campaign. After that, you can visit the island via the Guiding Lands option on the quest board, either in Celiana or Astera. Prior to each visit, you will get a teaser on the board showing which monsters are more likely to appear. These can change every time you cycle a hunt or a quest or an investigation. The Guiding Lands also can be visited by multiple players at once. Like I said, its condition reflects the progress of whoever the host is. So why should you visit the Guiding Lands? Well, there are 2 reasons. The first is to unlock monsters. By leveling up the island's various regions, you can make more monsters appear, including ones that normally don't show up in World's original maps. Gathering these monsters' tracks or fighting them can also unlock investigations for that monster, so one more thing to keep in mind. First up is Genoa. This monster shows up via a special cutscene when you first visit the Guiding Lands. The first telltale sign are special tracks that typically appear as question marks without a monster name. After your initial fight, Genoa will then start to regularly appear in the forest region once you get that area's level to level 3. Up next is Yankor Ooga. In my case, if I remember correctly, its first appearance was through an assigned quest that appeared when I got to Master Rank 39, I believe. After that, it'll require you to go on a trip to the Guiding Lands to hunt it down. Like Genoa, Garuga starts to appear in the forest region once it reaches level 3. After that, we've got Scarred Garuga. Once you reach Master Rank 69, you will gain the ability to raise your Guiding Lands region to level 6. This tempered and more aggressive version of Yankor Ooga will start showing up when your forest region reaches level 6. In my case, it actually first popped up via an investigation from the Resource Center lady in Celiana. For my coworker, it popped up as a question mark in the quest board when he picked the Guiding Lands. So those are 2 ways that Scarred Garuga and any of the following monsters could potentially show up. Speaking of another monster, we've got Gold Wraithian. The Golden Wyvern will have a chance to show up in the Guiding Lands once you get your Wildspire region up to level 6. Of course, you can't have Gold Wraithian or Gold Wrathian and not have Silver Rathalos. The Silvery Wyvern will have a chance to show up in the Guiding Lands once you get your Coral region up to level 6. And last but not least, as far as the level 6 unlocks, is Brute Tigrex. This more ordinary version of Tigrex shows up in the Guiding Lands once you get your rotted region up to level 6. And then the final icing on the cake is Ruiner Nergigante. This kicked up version of World's Mascot can start showing up in the Guiding Lands once you get to Master Rank 99. Anyway, just to repeat and to clarify, in order to make the special monsters first appear, once you level up a region to level 6 or level 7, you'll typically need to leave the Guiding Lands. After that, you can check the Resource Center to see if any investigations with those monsters pop up. Otherwise, you can do a mission and then check the Guiding Lands on the quest board to see if a question mark appears on the monster list. If not, do another quest and repeat. After you hunt them for the first time, they will now have a chance to keep popping up in the Guiding Lands. By the way, since the Guiding Lands is an expedition, that means you can hunt monsters and cart without really worrying about it. It will lead to reduced rewards, but if you're fighting a really tough monster, like Yankor Ooga for example, or Brute Tigrex, you can use that time to learn the monster's patterns and not worry too much about failing if you cart too much. Just note that if you take too much time, they might just go up and leave. Now if you remember, I said there were 2 reasons to visit the Guiding Lands. So what was the second reason? That would be to get exclusive materials. Monsters and gathering areas in the Guiding Lands have a high chance of dropping special mats that can't be acquired elsewhere. These materials are typically needed to update Master Rank weapons to a higher rarity in the weapon tree, or for weapon augmenting as well, making them necessary for meta endgame gear. In addition to monster parts, monster bones from the bone gathering areas for example, are also used a lot in augmenting. To increase your chances for monster drops, by the way, make sure to equip your Palico with the Plunder Blade gadget. So you might be thinking, leveling and re-leveling these regions kinda sound like a pain, so do I have any tips for that? Well, my advice is to work smarter, not harder, as much as possible. So if you happen to have friends, for example, each of you can split up the load by leveling up a specific area. Depending on the monster you want to hunt, you can then have the player who has leveled up that specific region to host a Guiding Land session instead. For folks who play solo or maybe can't always play at the same time as their hunting partners, make sure to gather tracks and break as many body parts of the various monsters to unlock their investigations. That way, you can still hunt, say, a Golden Rathian or a Silver Rathalos, even if their region levels go down. Just note that monsters hunted via investigations will not drop these special Guiding Lands materials, so try to get as much of those from certain monsters while their region is leveled up. At the same time, you can at least keep hunting monsters like Brute Tigrex for their normal parts, in case you just want to craft their armor, for example. The lone exception is Yankor Ooga, who does not have its own special armor. Another way to make monsters show up even when their region is leveled down is by luring them out. See, when you visit the Guiding Lands, you will occasionally find things like traces of a turf war, or even special tracks. By completing those or hunting a matching monster, like a Brute Wyvern or a Bird Wyvern, for example, you can add a certain monster to a special list that's kept by the handler. By the way, we've discovered one extra campsite in the region so far. Here's a quick video of where it's located.
I think we could build the camp here. Let's ask the head honchos.
Now, some of you might be questioning what are some of these materials mentioned and who drops them. So every monster has a chance of showing up in the Guiding Lands depending on the region. Here's a video that gives you a quick look at some of the monsters that show up in each region by level. Admittedly, our list is missing some level 7 info because leveling up each region is a huge time sink and we weren't able to get to all of them prior to the game's release. On that note, I'd like to extend a special thanks to my coworker, aka Munishiro, who helped confirm the MR99 stuff, and a lot of the level 7 stuff too. I will also release a full region level list once we've got that available. Anyway, that's my introductory guide to the Guiding Lance. So what do you think of this new endgame feature? As always, please feel free to leave any thoughts or questions you may have in the comment section. Once again, this is Tabi Asobi, and thank you for watching. Now let's watch that intro one more time.